Hi, my name is Jenna Melvin, and welcome to my TED Talk. Over the course of my life, I've never felt like I didn't belong somewhere. I've never been scared to speak up and share my opinion, but in hindsight, most of the people I was interacting with looked like me. The first time I ever experienced the feeling of not being able to speak up was 2 years ago in my sociology of sport lecture. We were talking about a sensitive issue related to women, and a female athlete had shared her experience being discriminated against for being a woman in a tweet, and it was up on the board for all of us to read. The boys behind me said, "That's not even that bad." I whipped my head around to look at them because I thought, "That's terrible. Why would you say that? And how do you not understand what she's feeling?" But I never said anything to them. I didn't know what to say. Since then, I've been more aware of what's going on around me and seen when people's voices might not be elevated and they might not be included in the conversation, but we can all always do better to ensure that everyone's voices are being heard, and that so the boys sitting behind me in sociology of sport know that what they said is not okay. Over the course of the semester, I've learned from Brene Brown, Minda Harts, Ray Arata, Madison Perlmutter, Andrew Rumney, Elena Scardino, Yuki Chang, Lauren Young, Jacqueline Lang, Zaleen John Mohammed, Danielle Bird, Zoe Ochoa, Janelle Wells, Karina Harold, Karen Peters, Gloria Navarez, Brett Estrella, Ben Piera, Jessica Gelman, Elena McCauley, Nicole Melton, and Elizabeth Delia. From everything we've learned this semester, I'm going to tell you about the 4 steps I found for navigating being a woman in a male dominated field, but also for being an effective ally towards minoritized groups. These 4 steps are being vulnerable, being honest, building a purposeful network, and being resilient. So for step 1, being vulnerable, you need to be open to quality feedback from people around you whose opinions matter. You need to establish in yourself who you really need to listen to, and then be open when they give you feedback. Because you respect that person and you trust them, you know that what they're saying will help you and be valuable to you. So you should take that advice in stride. You also need to set boundaries with the people around you. Know when you can and can't communicate with people, know when you're open to talking to someone about something, and establish what you need to communicate with others about in order to build healthy relationships with the people you work with and the people in your personal life. You also need to be curious and ask questions when you don't know the answer. Is when we're learning more about how other people feel in the work environment, we need to ask questions to help understand why someone may not be comfortable and why someone may not be sharing their opinion. We need to ask these questions to ourselves, to the internet, and to the people around us so we can help build a more inclusive environment. And for being vulnerable, we also don't need to be afraid to ask these tough questions in a workplace. If you're scared to ask about a company's culture or you're scared to negotiate for your salary, maybe that's a place where you shouldn't be applying for a job. And you need to look around and figure out if that's really a healthy environment for you. The second step is being honest with yourself and with others. You need to give honest feedback to people around you because being clear with someone is being kind. And if you're not being honest, you're hurting yourself and the person you're trying to give advice to. You need to talk about difficult feelings you're experiencing. That's really important to help create a more inclusive and understanding environment for everybody. You need to find the best environment to talk about those feelings and allow yourself to feel real emotions so you understand how to cope with them in an appropriate and healthy way. Understand your values and follow through with them. Establish 2 core values that you're going to take with you in all of your decisions and adhere to them when you're making those decisions. It'll help make the decisions easier and help you understand why you're making those decisions. And also, the most important thing for me as a woman to understand when being honest is that understanding that women of color face different hardships than white women, and being open and understanding that the experiences that I have and the experiences that a woman of color have or a woman that is minoritized for another reason are not the same. The third step to take is building a purposeful network. You need to establish core people around you that you trust and that you set appropriate boundaries with. You can trust these people so you know that you can go to them with anything and that they'll come to you when you might need to work on something and grow. Think of these people, like Becca and Karina told us, as mentors you would move across the country for. If they recommended it to you, you trust them enough to believe it and go with it. Your network should also be a diverse group of people who can help teach you different things about the workplace, the professional world, the environment, and anything around you. You need to be able to learn from different perspectives and hear from different people, which is super important. And to also help this network grow and be strong and effective, you need to set up touch points to connect with people yearly, quarterly, monthly, weekly, whatever's appropriate for your relationship in order to help your relationship flourish. And the fourth step to take while navigating being a woman in the workplace and to help be an effective ally for others is to be resilient. You need to be courageous in fearful situations and not be afraid to elevate the voices around you of those who aren't being heard. You also can't be afraid to elevate your own voice by saying, "Excuse me, I was talking." I think this is super important for women, especially to remember that they have a voice that they can use. When you're experiencing imposter syndrome as well, you can tell yourself the phrase, "The story I'm making up about the situation is," so you can understand that the situation may not be as bad or what you think it is, and that you can overcome it by telling yourself, what am I misbelieving about this situation? Using that phrase will help you do so. You also need to understand, like what I said previously, that you don't know everything and you need to be open to learning new professional skills. If you were to step into your dream job tomorrow, you probably don't have the skills necessary. So you need to work every day to build those skills. While you need to be open to learning more, you also need to be open to unlearning biases and different things you may have thought before and be open to understanding that things weren't like you thought they were. So, with these four steps, being honest, being vulnerable, building a purposeful network, and being resilient, these are key for navigating being a woman in a male dominated field and for being an effective ally towards minoritized groups. I'm so lucky to have peers and advisors in McCormick and Eisenberg that embody these ideals and help me grow and be a better person daily. My call to action for everyone listening is to find a place where you feel supported and like your ideas are welcome, and ensure that you're supporting those around you in this role as well. Thank you for listening.